today's episode of Heard and Seen Around. I am Rajesh Karipurat. This is my take on macroeconomic and geoeconomic data points which I find interesting. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
Analyst, we're cautiously optimistic. Translation, we have no idea, but optimism sounds better on air. Every news anchor says markets react sharply, as if stocks just developed human emotions. The phrase, experts say, is journalism's version of, a friend told me. We all want peace of mind, but most of us would settle for a decent Wi-Fi signal and fewer notifications. Let's circle back. Is corporate for, please forget this ever happened?
Private equity deals are having their quietest year since 2019. And that's saying something. With global trade uncertainty and geopolitical tension, deal values have fallen to just under $15 billion so far in 2025, about half of last year's levels. The slowdown isn't just about lack of cash. There's plenty of that. It's about conviction. Investors are waiting for clarity on rates, valuations, and maybe reality. Deal volumes are on track to be the lowest since the pandemic years, as boardrooms discover the fine art of patience. India just saw over 23,000 new company registrations in September, the highest in 5 months, and more than double last year's levels. On paper, it's a startup boom. In reality, it's a mix of ambition, optimism, and maybe a few GST registrations disguised as dreams. The rebound shows entrepreneurial energy remains strong, from tech and logistics to chai chains and boutique consultancies. But beneath the cheer lies a familiar story: easy digital registration, tricky survival. As leaders gear up for COP30, the world's top emitters are back at their favorite pastime, the carbon blame game. The US and the EU say China and India need to cut faster. Beijing and New Delhi reply, you had a 200-year head start. The numbers tell the story. China now accounts for nearly 30% of global emissions, up sharply from 12% historically. India's share has more than doubled to 8%. Meanwhile, the West's footprint is shrinking, but only because it's already filled the atmosphere's storage limit. India's new Billionaire club looks less like a boardroom and more like a college reunion. The youngest, Zepto's Kalwalia Vohra, is just 22. His co-founder Adit Palicha is 23. Together they have built a delivery empire worth more than most PSUs. At the top sits Arvind Srinivas of Perplexity AI, worth over 21,000 crores. Proof that curiosity really does pay. Ritesh Agarwal of Oyo, the veteran at 31, now shares space with fintech founders, solar dreamers, and cybersecurity prodigies. This chart says it all. The US looks like a galaxy of innovation. Europe, a polite constellation in the corner. Among companies under 50 years old, worth over $10 billion, America's map is bursting with high-tech giants, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Google, and Europe's. You might need to zoom in. Overregulation, risk aversion, and a welfare-first mindset has quietly replaced Europe's old entrepreneurial spark. The result? A continent that's excellent at setting standards and watching others set trends. It's not a lack of talent. It's a lack of permission to try and to fail. This chart really got me surprised. South Delhi and suburban Bombay households now spend over a quarter of their budgets online, putting them neck to neck with shoppers in the UK and China. Meanwhile, the rest of urban India still browsing the aisles the old-fashioned way, with less than 8% of total spending happening online. It's not just an e-commerce gap, it's a class divide wrapped in broadband speed. Digital India looks very different depending on your PIN code. This chart is what consistently looks like in the macroeconomic form. Since 2005, India's services and goods exports have grown more than sixfold, a near perfect upward curve that even tech stock charts would envy. Service exports are slightly ahead of goods, a reminder that India's most valuable export still wears a headset and writes code. But goods and remittances aren't far behind, showing a rare balance between brains, factories, and families abroad. Here's a global scoreboard of where money lives. Equities rule at $31.9 trillion, commodities very close behind at $29 trillion, and crypto sitting closely or quietly at $2.8 trillion, pretending that it's a future. Gold alone is worth $25.9 trillion. That's more than all of tech's big names combined. Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia may dominate headlines, but bullion still dominates balance sheets. It's poetic, really. Centuries of innovation later, humanity's most trusted store of value remains a shiny metal you cannot email.